My name is Linsey McLean, and I am an environmental biochemist in toxicology for the last 40 years. I was born and raised in Flint, Michigan, and lived there for the first 55 years of my life, with over 450 Class 7 industrial dump sites in each of the counties in southwest Michigan. So I am well acquainted with environmental contamination of all kinds. In fact, this is the reason that I actually sought my course of study and pursued a career in the effects of environmental pollution on the living body of both humans and animals. I am also a federally approved expert witness. I am submitting testimony on why it is necessary to include uranium in the metals tested for the MCLs, or the maximum contaminant levels. Currently, uranium is not one of the monitored metals in wastewater for uranium mining sites, but should be. Even if the other metals are under the MCLs, uranium can be nearly off the chart, as has been found to be in the old ISL sites that are attempting restoration. This has already been shown for several mines in Wyoming and Nebraska. And Dewey Burdock waste injection wells will be sending plumes into the Minnelusa water as it flows south and east through Igloo, the Black Hills Army Depot, through Buffalo Gap, Ulrichs, and elsewhere, and onto the Indian reservations that are already suffering contamination from the old pits near Edgemont, South Dakota. Metals can bond with many different molecules, which can then become completely different compounds with totally different chemical and biochemical personalities and activities. And if they bond with inorganic substances such as phosphate, oxide, sulfate, carbonate, etc., they will form inorganic compounds. However, if they bond with carbon-containing compounds, they become organified and will then have different toxicities and different biochemical activity in the living body. Organified metals have a significantly higher bioavailability in the living body and much more ability to travel to and target different organs and tissues of the body, interfering at the highest rate with normal, healthy biochemical pathways than inorganic metals. Organic metals are the substances of life itself. High levels of organified uranium have been studied and measured recently by the DOE, in old uranium mines. How did it get there when they're supposed to be extracting the uranium? Well, let me explain. Organified metals, including uranium, are known not to be recoverable by ion exchange method of ISL recovery, which is commonly used, since it's already bound organically and will not bind to the organic synthetic resins. So the levels will build up as the mining waters are recycled over and over in the ISL mining process until the waters become too saturated and are disposed as waste. Organically bound metals under this circumstance will continue to increase in the wastewater of the ISL mine, adding to the metal burden of the wastewater and also the toxicity of such beyond what it would be if the metals remained in an inorganic and ionic form. There should be very elevated levels of organified uranium and other metals in the Indian Kara because of the contamination of the aquifer with microorganisms from open boreholes and decaying fence posts placed in the old boreholes, so that, and I emphasize this, little recoverable uranium is there. There should be minimum levels of actual mining uranium shown for the permit, speciated and inorganic. Organic forms of any heavy metal are able to penetrate the lining of the digestive tract much easier than ionic and inorganic salts that are blocked by their electrical charges. Organic metals act as a chelate, something that the health industry does to essential minerals to significantly improve absorption and also make them much more able to enter into direct biochemical reactions in the living body. Selenium, another metal known to have wonderful health effects, preventing cancer and enhancing thyroid hormone. But inorganic selenium, the form generated in ISL mining, is known to cause birth defects of the highest severity. Higher evolved animals above microorganisms are not able to convert the quantities of the inorganic forms of minerals to detoxify, even the essential ones like selenium, into a biocompatible organic form. Plants and microorganisms do that in rivers and soils and can make heavy toxic metals even more toxic as they organify them. The incongruencies between actual toxicities of some chemical forms of metals and the actual regulatory levels is huge. Most toxicity levels charts fail to take into consideration the chemical forms of the metals which is absolutely critical in assessing any toxicity status and currently are not being tested for. My recommendation to EPA is to upgrade their testing of MCLs by including the speciation of inorganic forms of metals and testing for organified forms, including uranium, and then comparing the LD50 levels of each chemical form, which are often orders of magnitude in difference. Only then can the true toxicity of the wastewater you are testing be assessed.
Ms. McLean, your time is up, so I need you to please wrap up.
Using only a quantitative analysis of the metals tells you nothing about the toxicity you are actually looking for. Thank you.
Thank you. Georgia.